Now, there's a lot of discourse going around in the Overwatch community at the minute about one-shot heroes and whether they're good or bad for the general economy of the game. It's another one of those balancing problems which, in all fairness to the devs, it is a difficult one to tackle because they don't want to completely ruin a character by making them flat out weaker. In this video, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on the situation because A, it's a fun conversation to have, and B, it's a conversation that we need to have. But we need to take the perspective of someone who knows nothing about what makes it good/bad. We need a neutral perspective, no taking sides or anything like that. And that's what I'm gonna do in this video because I'm still kind of on the fence myself. I'll get into it in a minute, but first I'm gonna ask you to subscribe, as I want to keep making Overwatch 2 related content that isn't only entertaining, but informative too. We're getting close to that 1k sub count now, and it would be super cool if we reached it by the end of this year. Now, let's dissect one-shot heroes. Before I make my arguments for and against, I should probably make it known that there are 2 types of one-shot heroes. You have your traditional straightforward one-shot heroes like Widowmaker and Hanzo, who get instant value from just having good aim, and then you have your one-shot combo heroes like Roadhog and Junkrat, who can't just instantly kill an enemy in one shot, but can pair their own abilities to get a technical one-shot kill. This takes a little bit more skill, but that's not me rationalizing how strong combos like these are. First, I'm going to argue against one-shot heroes because there's some very obvious points to make as to why they're bad for the game. Let's look at it from a balance standpoint. Most people that are arguing against one-shots always make the same point, and that's that they're simply not balanced. The biggest problem that most people have is that it's quote-unquote not fair that some heroes can instantly kill other heroes with ease just by doing something as simple as looking at them, whilst other heroes have to progressively burn down enemies' health bars rather than just delete it in one click. They say it takes no skill because you're just spending the entire match peeking angles waiting for the pixels to change to a specific color, the specific color that you're supposed to attack. It's almost like the game's encouraging you to camp by giving you a stupidly powerful weapon at the cost of having less health than other heroes. Why would you play anybody else when you can play this hero who's ridiculously strong and mobile? My other point that I want to make against one-shot heroes is that they can drastically change the flow of the game. This isn't a problem all of the time, but sometimes it feels as if you have to change your playstyle to purposely focus these one-shot heroes, else you will never make any substantial progress and ultimately you'll end up losing the match. The problem with this is it's forcing you to play in a specific way, almost encouraging counterwatch, something that a lot of people have a huge problem with because it's slowly becoming more of a requirement than a suggestion. Think about it. Whenever you see a Widowmaker on the enemy DPS, do you A, keep playing the hero you're playing and try and force it to work, B, counterswap her by picking someone she'll have a hard time trying to kill, or C, try and encourage one of your teammates, generally speaking your tank, to focus her for the sole purpose of making it easier for the rest of the team to secure the objective. There's a reason why she's one of the must picks on maps like Hollywood Defend, and that's because she's super strong on it thanks to the sightlines on the payload. Yes, sometimes one-shot heroes are entirely situational, e.g. what map you're on, but they are super annoying in said situations. Now, I'm going to make some arguments for one-shot heroes that a few of you might not like, so I'm entirely ready to ignore the comments on this video for a long while, but let's just get into it. My first point is that they are actually not as overpowered as people make them out to be. As I said before, one-shot heroes force you to swap to the dive because the game just becomes entirely trivial when you counterpick them. They're only challenging, annoying heroes to play against because you're letting them be annoying. It really is a skill diff because if you're constantly applying pressure to these one-shot heroes, you'll find the game a lot less challenging since you're making it more challenging for them. In short, get good. It's annoying to have to counterswap, but sometimes it's all you have to do to flip the game. My second point as to why one-shot heroes are fine is that there's barely any of them in the game. I know I said at the start of the video there's 2 types of one-shot heroes, but even with both categories combined, there's only a total of 2 heroes that are flat out one-taps, and in most circumstances, it's entirely situational whether or not the one-tap will actually do what it's meant to do. Take Hanzo for example. The flat damage on his arrow hitting a crit is 250, meaning he can only kill enemies with 250 health or less. unless they have a weird clause like Brig, where some of the damage gets absorbed by armor being part of their health. This applies to other one-shot heroes too. They have to be able to do enough damage within a certain threshold to actually be considered a one-shot hero. Hence why now in Hog's combo we use Pigpen to squeeze us over that damage threshold, whereas post rework we used to be able to just hook and one-tap with a melee. But that just about does it for this video. I'm kind of 50-50 about one-shot heroes because whilst yes, they can be super annoying, especially to a support main like me, they're pretty easy to counter and ultimately have clauses that make them completely kaput. If you don't want to play those clauses, you can always play a one-shot hero yourself and even the playing field. Then it's just a matter of who has better aim, unless someone's using an aimbot. Anti-cheat in this game is an absolute joke. I don't know how much they're spending on it, but they really need to get a refund because it doesn't even work half the time. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as it lets me know that you've enjoyed it and want to see more. Let me know what you think about one-shot heroes in the comments. Do you think they're not as big of a problem as people make them out to be, or do you think that they need to be much more balanced? Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure you check out some of my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.